Hey there, and welcome back to Utility Sports. We have some breaking news. The Kansas City Royals have signed Carlos Santana to a 2-year, $17 million deal, and they get a nice power first baseman. Carlos Santana is an underrated player in the MLB, and his bat really carries a lot of weight in this league. And for the Kansas City Royals, it makes a ton of sense to get an under the radar guy like Carlos Santana. They've been looking to replace Eric Hosmer ever since he departed. And honestly, I think this is a really good signing. The reasoning behind this really, they can look to ultimately trade Carlos Santana later on. So what they're doing is they're getting themselves an asset, ultimately uh, to later on ship him, whether it's this trade deadline or the next trade deadline. For the Kansas City Royals, it's not going to be a move where, hey, this is a win now move. This is, we're going to get an asset and then we're going to trade him later on. Likely in the future, he will net a top 20 prospect from an organization that's looking to contend, looking to make that final push for the postseason. And Carlos Santana gives them that. So the value here for the Royals is you're going to get a guy that you can slot in at the 4 hole and let him drive in a lot of runs. Ultimately, bring up his value as a player in general, and then you're able to trade him. So I really like the deal for Carlos Santana. You're going to ultimately boost your value. You're going to be able to hit in the 4 hole for the Kansas City Royals. You have some guys that will be ahead of you, that can get on base ultimately. So for Carlos Santana, it makes a lot of sense. You get to be, pushed into the 4 hole. You're going to get a lot of RBI opportunities. And for the Royals, it makes a lot of sense in the stance of you can trade this guy ultimately for more prospects in the future. Obviously, you want to continue to build for that future. This is not a win now move for the Royals, but ultimately, I really like it. It doesn't necessarily cost you anything. I mean, it costs you his yearly salary, but it's not going to cost you an asset to get Carlos Santana. Therefore, you're able to flip him later on. So I think that's kind of the understanding between the player and the organization that Carlos Santana is going to get some chances to boost his value and ultimately possibly play himself into another contract after this one, and that'll kind of be his final bigger contract. And for the Royals, it makes sense to get a guy and ultimately be able to flip him for an asset later on, just because you're a rebuilding team. This is not, once again, a win now move for the Kansas City Royals. You need to continue to build assets and build up that farm system. So thanks everybody for watching. Please subscribe if you did enjoy this video. Also hit the like button. We do appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.